Good morning. I am higher vibrations, and so are you. And may the 4th be with you. Happy Star Wars Day. Man, I got distracted looking at the space weather and I lost time. I'm just got back in the house again, but we have a lot of, we have a big solar wind thing going on right now. It's actually 1.4 million miles per hour that we're getting it coming in, which is like 631 kilometers per second, 392 miles per second. It's just a really intense energy. And so a lot of us are feeling this probably. It feels kind of like otherworldly, like you're almost in a different, it's hard to find the ground. Does that make sense? That's really my main experience right now. I feel like I'm in many different energetic realms at the same time. So if you're feeling that, that would be, I'm just curious because I'm feeling that really intensely. A lot of interesting sensations all throughout the body, a lot of like tingling kind of stuff. um, I don't know about anybody else, but if you've been noticing the vocabulary thing, again, it's come back. It's really interesting whenever we get these types of upgrades. For me, it tends to affect my vocabulary, the access to my readily available vocabulary. And we've just been in this download period for a couple of days, I would say. Really, it's been about 2 weeks since a lot of this energy's been really intense, like it has been. However, like the past, since about last night, I would suppose, like the downloads just started coming and like barely had any breaks with that. Along with that comes with the dream stuff. So a lot of us have been noticing weird nights, right? More lately. It's very fascinating the kind of dreams and dream walking that we do. So any of you are joining now, this is for May the 4th be with you. Happy Star Wars Day. Um, there's a something I've noticed too. We've always had the ear ringing since, at least since 2020. That's when it really started, but it's not been as intense. Remember March of 2020? That was when I actually discovered that there are other people and they're taught and they're that are going through the same things that I had deduced, thanks to spirit. I don't take responsibility for that. However, there was a word called Ascension Symptoms. And so that's a lot of what we discuss on this channel is variety of things. Ascension, though in particular, we've been able to discover that many of us simultaneously have the identical symptoms. Those symptoms that we had typically been going into the doctor, and the doctor was like, "You're fine." Like, why are you here? Almost looking at you like a drug seeker or something when you never filled their prescriptions, subscriptions, whatever the word is, I can't remember. Prescriptions, yes. I actually haven't filled one of those in so long. Anyway, and then we discovered that it's an evolution of mind and body, and this is the body part. So some of the ascension symptoms are also like awareness and your gifts becoming available to you in a way that they weren't before. We have access to our clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairs. I always struggle to remember the different names for them. And so I just call them the clairs. And it also helps for me, I don't like to put myself or anyone else above anybody. And it seems like that the declaration of the different types of clairs has, been like a competition in some circles. And so I don't participate. That's why I simply call them the clairs and don't put too much interest in it. However, all of these different things are all being more and more available. This particular window of time we're in now than has ever been noticed before, at least by me. It's been really fascinating. And so we are meeting with our guides, with these shaman-like beings in our astral plane these nights. So when we're sleeping, we think we're having dreams when we're actually having some pretty intense astral travel experiences. And so Thanks, Lavender Sky Panther. Hey, are you busy on Friday? Do you want to be on the show this Friday? I was gonna message you, but you're here. So I should say hi to everybody. Welcome everybody. I see Vegan Vixen's in the audience. Where did she go? It's good to see you. Well, you're talking to people, but I'm going to grab you anyway. I'm glad to see you back. I've missed you. I've been wondering how things have gone. She just recently shifted, and a lot of us are noticing this happening. Either we've recently shifted or we are about to. It's really weird. Not everybody. There's some of us that feel like, okay, we're where we're supposed to be right now, but it's very fascinating. So anyway, I'm glad to see you. I hope things are going well. Deborah says, "Hey, Mila, so cute. Thanks. Yeah, may the fourth be with you, everybody. It's a really profound day, energetically speaking. It always has been. Tomorrow for the northern hemisphere, yet in the southern hemisphere, it's already the 5-5 portal. It's Cinco de Mayo already, and with that particular portal, it's kind of like the eve of Lionsgate. That's what it feels like. So it's like Lionsgate Junior. Typically, it's that case. However, this day, this one that we're in right now, it's so much different. I believe it has a lot to do with what's happening on the Schumann. I don't know if you guys have been noticing, but we've been having some pretty regular thick spikes that have, and then you got a lot of like noise of the background, like a lot of that green integration, weird staticky almost, and you just feel it. Typically that when we're having those types of I call them static, just because it's like just a green background when typically a Schumann resonance has a blue. Anyhow, that for me, that's when dizziness typically will come in. That's when I'll notice just feeling not like I'm going to fall over or faint, just simply like this weird vertigo, like out of body and in body simultaneously kind of stuff. And that again goes back to what I was just talking about. I'm feeling in a really profound way right now, just barely in body, like there's a lot of other energies that are being accessed simultaneously or something. Eric, on the way, Vixen, love you. All right, so I shouldn't have clicked that. Sorry. One of you guys are talking to each other. Let me find one. There we go. Gina, hi, Mila, and everyone. Good to see you. Gina, garden maintenance. Janet is here. Good to see you, girl. Love you. Ralph says, hi, Mila. Hi, all. Love from Scotland. Good to see you. Love to you from Arkansas, from the Ark. Mother Nature says, good afternoon, Pamela. I've been having lightheadedness, no hunger. Yes. Exhausted. I love that word. And also getting over an allergic reaction. Well, I'm sorry to hear about the allergic reaction. Yeah, I can say yes to all of this. It's really weird. The whole food thing has been such a shifting experience. I started to listen to my body more, and so I omit breakfast and usually what time frame people would call lunch. I'm usually awake for quite some time before I eat my first meal, and that's called intermittent fasting. I started to do that like in 2018, I think. I was in a position, I just left where I was and I had all this freedom to my world. And I was like, you know what? I don't have to eat breakfast. And I'd always been told it's the healthiest meal of the day, and that breakfast was supposed to be had like almost right after you woke up. And I would be sick or feel sick for a few hours. Anyway, after I've started doing that, it turns out I can actually forget that I've missed so many different meals because I'll only have one or maybe I'll have two later in the day. Anyway, I'm sure I get enough calories, but the point of this is I've noticed it too. My appetite's been really, and I found that I've gone through windows of time where I'm like, oh wait, I haven't eaten for 2 days because I skipped, I didn't feel like it by the time it came around to dinner time, which would be my breakfast. Oh wait, and also exhausted. Yeah, exhausted. I love your word. Super, super, super exhausted. Oh my gosh, it's like I have no comparison to it right now. Along with this amazing energy that we're getting, these interactions, these astral travel experiences while we're sleeping, we're not really as rested as we will be when we're not doing so much stuff, in the astral side. So, and a lot of us are bringing back information um, from these different encounters, sometimes with beings that you have memory of, and sometimes it's, simply uh, played out like something like a similar to the days that you will have. I'm noticing a lot of like child version of me as as a child interacting with these elders. I find that really fascinating, that I'm finding myself to be a child, but it doesn't feel like I have less rights that you would, um, I want to talk about something else before I forget. I wrote this down. I keep looking at my notes. So I'm just going to say it so I can stop looking. Um, a lot of stuff to do with the spine, neck, and the back of the head is really a big deal right now. A lot of people are having this. Oh, also having to do with feet, ankles, knees, and hips. I know that sounds like I'm just doing a blanket covering, but these are very specific things that are occurring. And we're talking about many age groups. Okay, we're talking about people from all over the planet. No matter the climate, it seems to be something that's happening. And this is what I got was this is what spirit told me. It was directly related to what we were discussing previously, having to do with all of the remembering coming in. That is also part of what we do at night in this astral plane. It's the recollection of you on a soul level, more than previous incarnation cycles, but also including it. And as this is occurring, it's affecting our hippocampus, which is responsible for long-term memory. Interestingly enough, that was my validation. I love when they give me vocabulary that then when I look it up, it's exactly what they were talking about. And when we have this extra, it looks like light being delivered to the hippocampus. The hippocampus is located, if you touch your nose and follow that line to the back of your head, that's like the height of it, I guess. And it is the back of your brain, the back of the mind stuff that's associated with the brain stem, and the limited access to the pineal gland is now being relieved as a result of all of this extra light that's coming in, though it is leading to many of us having headaches, having really stiff, uncomfortable, sore neck and shoulder area for no other cause. There's no outlying or noticeable purpose to that. It's just happening. And anyway, along with this too, we're also noticing a purging, like you could call it acne, or even like not quite boils, but something that's coming off the back, in the back of the head, neck, and like upper back. This is something I'm having it like in the back of my head and just the beginning of my neck on one side, the left side. I'm only bringing this up because it's been such a highly reported thing. This is us purging. We are physically purging something that we're also purging energetically. That naysayer, that low self-worth talker, that voice that's connected to low self-worth and lowering your vibration as a result is being released. And while that releasing occurs, we're also having physical sensations and symptoms as a result of it. I've noticed the Epsom salt baths, any kind of those kinds of like mineral baths and stuff that will have its intention is to pull or to like clean your skin, to pull the toxins from it, like Epsom salt can do. You can also use like, oh goodness, I wish I could remember. I use this clay that's healing clay, and that also works really well. It kind of like draws it out from the deeper tissue. Anyway, I know this is a lot, but that's something that a lot of us are having happen. You want to purge that stuff, and so this will, I wonder if your allergic reaction, Mother Nature, has something to do with your back of your neck. Anyway, thank you very much for your comment. And that was a lot. Astra, good to see you. I went on for a long time. I mean, hello, Scotland. Oh, Deborah, good to see you from Texas. Sorry, Vive and Vixen. Okay. I keep clicking on people talking to each other. Excuse me. Love to Texas. Okay, Lavender Sky Panther says, cool, count me in like Count Dooku for Friday. All right, cool. Awesome. Thank you. I look forward to having that. I'll correspond with you a little further, though we'll be having that show at 1 p.m. or excuse me, 2 p.m. Central Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Speaking of, and then I'll move on. Tomorrow for the 5-5 portal, Elsa and I are having a show. It's to do with ancient Greece, ancient Egypt, and a variety of other things, as all things always do occur when we talk on these shows. So just letting you all know that will be at 1 p.m. Central Time. So they'll start at 11 a.m. Pacific, noon for Mountain, 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern. It'll be a fun show. It will probably be like about an hour or two, or excuse me, about 2 hours, sometimes longer. Anyhow, it'll be a fun show. So we're all welcome to join us live or on the replay. And then see Lavender Sky Panther on Friday. And before that, last one. Next, this coming Wednesday is going to be Yolanda Marie and Guardian. We're having another conversation of a Trinity triangle energy. It's going to be really a fun conversation. So if you can join us, that'll be really cool. We got a lot of shows this week. Got 3 shows after this one. Amy says, passed out from energies, woke up and I could not remember who I lived with in another dimension. Thank you, Amy. So resonate with that. It feels so bizarre. It's fitting that it's on Star Wars Day, right? That we're feeling this way. That's for just those of you who don't understand why I'm wearing this hat. May the 4th be with you. It's May 4th today. And I just love that we get to celebrate it. But yeah, it really does feel like we're in between dimensions. Like I've noticed that too. It's really hard. Time's already been difficult to kind of keep track of time, but now it's something different. It's a time and place. It's really, yeah, something's going on. Woohoo! Hello, everyone, says Barbara. Good to see you. Oh, thank you, AG. Hello, Mila. I love the hat. Yeah, it's a Yoda hat for our Star Wars celebration for Star Wars Day. Sup, lovely people, says Carmen. Good to see you, Carmen. Love your headgear, Mila. Thank you, Joyce. Hi, I'm glad to join in the live. Love the hat, Mila. Thank you, Marie. I like it too. I was really excited that I got to wear it, actually. It's actually a Christmas hat. Like there's this little ball in the back. I just kind of put it. It's great. Thanks. Bit of work to do, but I'm happy. Awesome, Vegan Vixen. Well, welcome home. I'm happy for you. Paul says, hello. Friday afternoon, I took up to the sky and saw a black dot in the sky going fast, flying by. I asked Dr. Gail what it was, and she said it was a spaceship in the sky. Amazing, from Pennsylvania. Unless it was to say Paul and you ran out of space. Yeah, that's really cool. And yeah, when you said it immediately, I knew that it was also spacecraft. There are the aviaries and the aquarium. They're 2 different kind of groups, really. And the aviary are those who take to the skies, and those in the aquarium take to the oceans and large lakes that have natural springs going deep into the earth. There's a lot of cool stuff about that. Like if you're into it, I know it's a heavy topic for some people, but a lot of these beings are not coming to us and being like, you got to talk to me or else, they're just not going to like come up and knock on the door and be like, ding dong, and take out, you know what I mean? They're going to like slowly come in. And if you're not comfortable, they respect that and they back away, and some of these beings that we interact with, it's difficult to tell that they're not human in a physical way. Like there's something off slightly, but it's this energy and knowledge. It's really fascinating. And so, and then there are also the others that we are very familiar with in pop culture that, resemble otherworldly beings. Most of them do tend to be bipedal. So like walking on 2 legs. I find that really interesting. It's kind of fascinating. Humanoid, I guess, is the... Hi, Milan, everyone. Sending love to all. High on magnesium and sunlight. Awesome. Awesome. I think that you might have said something earlier, and that's okay. Yeah, yeah. The sunlight is really important, and if you can get it right now, a lot of people are just for the first time in a while being able to access it. In the northern hemisphere, I don't know what the weather's like in the southern hemisphere, though. Yeah. Also, magnesium is very important. Magnesium, there's some magnesium found in Epsom salt, and you can. I know that people have told me you can also eat the Epsom salt in small doses that will help you purge and stuff like that. It's like a binder, but I don't know. That's just one that I've not done personally. However, I do love taking baths with a lot of like with magnesium actually and Epsom salt. I'll get like the concentrate and it really helps. You can really tell the difference. Oh, sorry, I did it again. Hi, Mila, says Vegan Vixen. No internet, at new place, but lovely. But my lovely brother rigged up something for me, so here I am. Hooray! Yeah, I would say that's one of the most uh, strange parts about moving, these days in the digital age that we're in, is having access to internet once you arrive. When before it, that wasn't really the case. Like in the time when we were just using dial-up or before that. Back when you could slam the phone down when you were mad. Barbara's tingling. Yes. Yes, that exactly. I had mentioned that earlier. Funny cramps in toes and sometimes legs and ringing of the ears, which is odd when not present. Anxiety on and off, and vivid dreams just feel off. Yeah, dude, you just described or mentioned, I think we had highlighted every single one of these ascension symptoms before you got here. So you're in the right place. A lot of we're all feeling this. The dreams is one that's really lingering for me, because there's so much profound stuff that's coming out of it. The constant almost downloads that we're getting, weird stuff to do with the feet and ankle area. Everybody has something else going on. It seems really varied, but it's also, very specific to one foot or the other is usually the case. I find that really interesting. A lot of weird muscle stuff to do with one arm or the other. I've talked to people about this, and I'm having it with my left arm still. Like it's just weird, and it's not still, like it's not stopped. It's when the energies come in, I notice it in my right or my left arm. Like it's just through the shoulder and down into the hand. It's very interesting. Along with that, we have been having heart palpitations. And I bring that up because when those happen, my first thought, especially since my left arm is kind of acting funny, is like, oh no, and then it turns out everyone's having these heart palpitations, and they're kind of uncomfortable. Excuse me. And so, just so you know that other people are having it too. The ear ringing that was of 2020, March 2020, that we started really having is back. And so a lot of us are noticing the ear ringing again, which, is kind of annoying. And then again, the anxiety thing that you had mentioned, Barbara, this is really weird. It feels like a real turbulent energy we're in. Like the highs are so high that what would not even really have been thought of as a low before feels very dramatic. It feels extra low, even though we're not there very long. We can decide to be there for a lot longer if we lean into it. And a lot of us will do that. It's difficult not to, but it's that when the anxiety kind of sensation comes in, and then we like devote energy to it. We try to decide, well, what is this for? Is this a message? And feeling like it's some type of like warning or something like that, and we can get ourselves really worked up. Though that's not what this is. It's not a warning at all. What I was actually shown is that these fissures in the earth are opening up, and they look like a Vesica Pisces almost. And they're some of them are kind of small. And it's not at first when they showed it to me, when spirit showed this to me, I've not seen this on any news or any data place. This is what I was shown by spirit, is these fissures that are just the shaped like a Vesica Pisces, the same shape as your soul spark, the most sacred shape in all sacred geometry. And then what looks kind of like, at first you're like, is that lava? No, it's not lava. Is it fire? No, it's not fire. It's like this, it looks like fire kind of, but it's energy. And they're being released from Terra, from the earth. And then another piece comes from below or something and fills that fissure up. It's really bizarre. So I'm not entirely sure what that message is meant for, other than to help us understand exactly what's occurring. The little fiery energy feels like many that have been locked away for a long time, and they're really unhappy energies. And so when we are getting these bursts of anxiety right now, what I was given by spirit regarding this, as described just with all that visualization, that we're sensing others. We're sensing these energies. And it's pretty profound, because I don't typically grab onto or really experience the anxiety anymore like I used to. And I've had moments of it. And this was the answer, so, and a lot of others as well have been reporting it. Hi, Lois. Good to see you. Sherry's here. Oh, I know. I don't want to eat till 12 or 1. Drives my hubby crazy. So he's always nagging me about lots of crazy here. Yeah. Yeah. I find that to be true too. A lot of people who love me and want to do something kind will, like, if they're visiting or something, want to prepare breakfast as like some type of gift to me. And it's just like, man, that's so kind of you, that, it's like, what do you do with that? And so I'll try to remember to warn people and remind them I don't eat breakfast and lunch usually. I usually eat for the first time in the day, probably about between 5 and 7 p.m. And, but I also stay up rather late. And so it's not as late as it seems if you kind of adjust it to fit your world or your timeline of a day. She deals with aliens, Dr. Gail. Cool, Paul. That's really cool. Yeah, I'm totally resonating with what you're talking about. Thank you for sharing that. Oh yeah, and the toe thing. I didn't actually highlight that. Barbara, yes, toe stuff still going on here. I was going to. Thank you for bringing that up, bringing that back up, Deborah. Specifically the right big toe. I think that's really fascinating. And we're talking about all kinds of different countries, age groups. This is an area of discomfort for a lot of people. And I find that to be very, very interesting. So anyway, if you're having this weird toe aching sensation, and if it happens to be your right big toe, then you're one of many, many others. I've also talked to people who've had it in other areas, but I'm noticing it mostly reported to the big right toe. It's really interesting. Back pain for 1 week now, plus knees and hips. Yes, days and days of this, says April. Yeah, it's been some time. Like, the intensity of it has increased recently, though it's been about 2 weeks of this. It might be, a little over that, give or take a few days. But yeah, that's exactly the time frame that I have it too. These activations regarding our spine is good. We're finding that these other energies that were designed to keep our frequency just low enough that are being released. So now we can raise our frequency higher than we've been able to before, has a purging physical element to it. I am going to do something, by the way. I got a download and I wrote it down for anyone who wants to go see it. I wrote it down and added it to our Telegram group, but it described a series of steps that I did that spirit guided me to do. It was the coolest thing. I've never had spirit be like, guide meditation like that for me. It's different. It was so bizarre and different. When I do it for groups, they channel through me, but this was different. Like, it was really neat. Anyway, so it was a series of steps having to do with starting first laying on your back, and on the floor or on the hard enough surface as you can. Some people I know can't get up from the floor. And so, finding your own accommodation. However, the flatter the surface, the better. And it was about breathing with humming, and hum first your bass hum, like that's the easiest tone or pitch or octave for you to reach. That's your heart. Hey, it's 333. And then a octave above that is your throat, and an octave below that is your solar plexus. And it was about going through each of these chakras. Anyway, I'm going to make a video of it. It'll be a YouTube video. It's not very long, but it would be probably useful to hear like someone guiding you while you're doing it instead of having to memorize it. Anyway, when I did it, and I've been doing it ever since, every day, at the end of it, it's like this crazy thing happens through the neck and spine. Every one of the joints, every vertebrae, every part, all the way down to the tailbone, pops. Like the whole thing. It's so bizarre. And you're not like doing aerobics or yoga. You're just laying on the floor, and with your arms outstretched and your knees bent at first. But when you're done with the progression of the chakras, then they have you lay your legs down and expand the orb of light through your energetic field. The part that I found really fascinating, they were like, don't forget to breathe back in through the nose instead of breathing in through the mouth. When we hum, we're creating some type of brew in the air of our nose. They're telling me. I don't really know what that means. If anybody understands it, anyhow, and then if we exhale through the mouth or breathe in through our mouth in order to then hum again to kind of catch our breath, then we don't get the benefit of what's been created in the nasal area. So anyway, it was really helpful. If anybody's willing to take that time to do it, you can find it on Telegram right now, and I'll make a video later. Mikhail says, anyone else experiencing lower back aches and soreness? I'm sure that I've been talking about it. So yeah, we got some yeses. Yeah, exactly. Oh, and weird rashes. Yep, weird rashes having stuff to do with these weird purging things that I'm noticing specifically around the back of the head, the upper neck. Though a lot of people have also been reporting like around the shoulders, between the shoulder blades too, like down the spine area. These are just purgings that we're going through right now. And it looks like rashes, irritated skin. April says, yes, the forgetfulness is off the hook. It is, dude. It's so crazy right now. Man, having conversations as often as I do, and when I'm here first, I set up this area to bring in the most awesome energy. I got all kinds of stones and stuff going on. And so it's like entering a portal energy when I come over here. And so I'll be in the here in front of the computer doing a session or a meeting or something and completely lose my train of thought. Like it's gone. I have no idea what I was talking about. And I had only taken a breath. So it's kind of crazy. Playful, childlike is good. Yes, my feet, ankles, arches, having wild, intermittent pains. Been massaging and soaking makes walking hurt. Yeah, I actually one of my right ankle, between the ankle and like the Achilles tendon, there's something going on there. So it got swollen and tender there too. And I have not done anything to cause it. Like there was not like an injury moment or anything like that. But a lot of us are having these kinds of things happen right now. Arches of feet also, that's right. Yeah, a lot of the feet stuff. Soaking and massaging, like Sherry had said, is a really good idea. Also, remember that the soles of our feet have the largest pores in our body, which allows them to absorb or purge more efficiently than any other part of our body. That's why you can use pretty much any herbal remedy, any natural remedy most of them can be delivered through foot soaks because of this. You'll also notice that a lot of when we're purging and we don't let ourselves take, extra time releasing things through our feet, whether it's soaking in a bath, standing in a shower that will have enough water at the bottom to kind of like help you with that. It's better if you can use Epsom salt or something like this. But what's even better than that, and that's not where it's also good, because they're probably equally good, is the going out and standing on the grass, the soil. I know a lot of people are like really weary of that. Thing is all of us have parasites, and it's not just from going outside. It's the concept here is simply to do regular purges. And that's what the book burnings were about, were to eliminate that knowledge. It's only been 100 years since, or less, since we've stopped doing these things. Wormwood, black walnut, whole clove, 5 jalapeno seeds a day. There's a lot of things we can do to purge this stuff. So it's best to go and or you can even bring soil in the house if it's cold, or if you don't have it available to you readily outside your house. I've done it where I brought pots that I was growing stuff in the house, and then I've turned into like this annual thing that I do. Anyway, all this stuff, it's got to do with the feet. The feet hurt the most when it's got stuff that's trying to get out. And so what happens when we stand in the soil, it's called earthing, but also called ionization. Our bodies get full of what is called positively charged ions, and these ions don't want to be positively charged. They're full, and they sound like static, like when you're in between radio stations. It feels like that. And then when you're able to ground, when you're able to go through the ionization process by putting your bare feet on the soil, in the ocean, in the lake, in the grass, even on the concrete, if that's all you have available to you, it doesn't work quite as well, but it still works. This draws out the positively charged ions and leave behind the negatively charged ones. And then we're able to notice that the soles of our feet, you never notice how dirty they get? It's not simply from walking on the ground. Some of that really is. You can do this by putting a cut onion, on the sole of your foot. I've been hearing more and more good things about even like baking the onion for some time and then having like this soft poultice. But the idea here is to have some type of a sack, like a grocery bag or something, or a bread bag or whatever, and to put this on the stuff on the sole of your foot, holding the bread bag on there, and just hold it there for as long as you can stand it. It's crazy how much gunk comes out of the bottoms of the soles of your feet. And a lot of this is to do with the purging that we're doing, is along with the next stuff. There's a lot to purge right now, a lot to purge, and arch of the feet also. Yeah, dude, all kinds, all around the foot area. And then a lot of people have been reporting knee and hips, even children, like normally active, no strange something to, associate the cause for it. It's something down the spine, the whole thing, everywhere. Everybody's talking about it. So, all the emotions coming up to be cried is that anxiety that a lot of people are feeling. But to remember that we are standing in a shallow stream when the water swirls by you. Allow it to swirl by you. The water is wet. You're not. And so this emotion, as it moves past you, grazing over you, this emotion, like the water that you stand within the shallows of, is not meant to stick to you. It's simply moving past you, not even in you. We are ushers. We are conduits. Many of us, for these energies, are like the banks of the river, the guides that usher the waters away, out where they mean to go and they've wanted to for some time. And allowing ourselves to release them and to not grab onto them is also useful for them. They don't want to be grabbed onto by us either. So that has to do with the anxiety that's coming in. That was just something that needed to be said. Astra, yeah, feeling some spots on the back of the head. Yeah, dude, they're supposed to get released. It's weird. I'm not giving any medical advice to anybody, but for me and everybody I've talked to, you're supposed to, like, it's supposed to purge, and like it might fill back up a couple of times, but itching like histamine flares. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The skin's weird. Um, what's happening too is a lot of these toxins are purged through our pores by way of sweat. And so that's why we're so much more thirsty. And you're noticing that you're drinking more water, and also your body's requiring more salt, more minerals that are found in natural salts. And this is allowing for the increased need of sweat. As we sweat this stuff out, it leaves through our pores, and sometimes it's a little, more clumped or large or something to get through that exit, and then gets kind of stuck. So then it's our job to release that. So that, I know it's weird to talk about that probably, but it's really what's going on, and it's causing rashes, itchiness, weird skin. I've been noticing a lot the past couple. I have never in my life had dandruff, and I've got dandruff. It's well, I might have had it once before. I think I remember one time as a teenager, but yeah, this is really strange. It's really not. I haven't changed anything that I use, but yeah, it's just this whole, for me, a lot of the purging's happening in the head area. I've been guided to breathe and hum in my chakras. Yes, it's making things lighter. Ralph, this is exactly what I was talking about. Yeah, I'm so happy that you got the same message. It does. It really helps everything. And the initial when you first do it, you notice the relief and the sensation of, like, your energy. And then you realize your body's all the way better. I didn't even realize I'd been walking around with a hunched over back, like I was leaning, and as soon as I did this, then the physical as well as the energetic stuff that was difficult was relieved. And so this is like the fifth time I've brought it up in the past couple of days, and how many people have benefited from it. I think that's what made me make the decision. I'm going to make a video. I just don't know when I'm going to do it. I typically have been pretty busy, so we'll see when I can do it, but I'm going to do it whenever I can. By the way, for anyone's interested, we are still offering a weekly meditation group on Tuesdays for the Northern Hemisphere. That's Wednesday for the Southern Hemisphere. It's really a cool, small group of people, really awesome, high frequency individuals that come. It's a suggested donation of $33. Whatever is doable by you. Just let me know if you're interested, and I'll send you the link. We have a small Telegram group where I put the weekly link for the meditation group. So anyway, just let me know. I've got a red spot on my head too. I hope it ain't skin cancer. No, yeah, all of us are getting this right now. I can definitely relate to what you're experiencing, and allow yourself to purge it however is best for you. A lot of soaking stuff does help, most times. In some cases it's better to dry it out. Bentonite clay, that's right. I saw both of you. Thank you, Marie. Thank you, Trina. Yes, thank you. I couldn't remember it. Vocabulary, right? Hello, Colleen. Have been really sleepy often and on all day, dozing off. Can't keep my eyes open. Been trying to read a book about sacred contracts. Contracts very interesting, but I find myself dozing off. Yeah, it's really hard to do that. Anything right now, too, for me, too. It's kind of funny, and also disappointing for my child, because, she's really at that stage where she really wants to, sit down with me and watch a movie, and I just don't do those types of things anymore. But she really wants to, and so I love her and I want to do it for her, but We won't be very long in, and suddenly I can feel her staring at me, and I realize my eyes are closed. And then she's like leaning in right next to my face, trying to like nudge me awake. She's really polite and cute, but yeah, I am just so tired lately, man. Hello, Mila. Nice to see you today. Thank you. Good to see you, Denise. You grew ears. I grew new ears. Yeah. This is for May the 4th. Today's the 4th of May. So May the 4th be with you for Star Wars Day. It's backwards because I can't figure out how to unflip this. This is my right hand. So it says Star Wars. Castor oil. That's a really, actually, good quality castor oil is a big deal. You can find that there are groups that will like make castor oil. It's meant for your hair. That's not entirely meant to ingest. There's all kinds of different things. You can jump down a lot of rabbit holes about that, but organic as best you can. And yeah, castor oil is really healing. I find use for it for a lot of things. In fact, I have a couple of stories of watching people heal different type of like cancerous like cysts all over their bodies, and they use castor oil. Just spending, you can get these pads. I can't remember if they're called pads or patches, but it's like this vessel, this way to like hold the castor oil against a certain area of your body for a period of time while you can still move around and do your day. There's a lot of really amazing things, and they were completely healed within a short time. The second time that this particular person I'm thinking of went back in for the scans, they had said that it's all gone. Where did it go? Like it really is amazing what castor oil can do. A lot of these things, it's amazing. Like you can find all of this information online, but you can more and more, we're finding that the medical system is being understood for what it previously was, and a lot more of these natural remedies are coming up. They're calling it new age remedies. It's the old remedies, the ones that worked before still work. 5D Sky Marie, hello everyone. Good day to you, and Grand Rising, Pamela. Thank you. May the 4th be with you. Good to see you. Awesome. May the 4th be with you and everyone always. Look forward to seeing you on Friday. Hello, Pamela. It's been a while. Nice to be here with y'all. Good to see you, Marty-Ann. Oh, yeah. I remember. I haven't seen you for a while. How are you? Barbara, I thought we were going to be in a peaceful time after April and was so looking forward to it. I know. And for a week or two, it has been awesome. And I thought, yes, we are coming into our new world. We are into our new world. I very much feel that. That's actually why we feel so weird. So like the energetically speaking. And what they were trying to show us about this too is that it's difficult to say this to somebody and have them fully see it, but it feels denser where we are than it actually is, because of these moments of elation. That's what they were talking about with these dips, is that the highs are so high that even the smallest dip seems like quite a bit more distance and difficulty and stuff like that. We are officially, basically, as in a collective way, like standing on the threshold. So we're kind of in between both realms. And the more energy we devote to this higher frequency stuff, the more we release these attachments that look like small roots of a flower. That's what I'm getting from it. So if you don't resonate, that's okay, but that's the message that I'm being given about this. And so I'm with you though. I had disappointment there too a little bit, because it has not been that bad, but the past 2 weeks of like, I don't typically feel the sensation of the density. And so I was like, what? Like it's been kind of, but it is Lionsgate Junior right now, right? We're in this frequency that's similar to Lionsgate, due to also all of the solar wind that we're having. What was it, 1.4 million miles per hour or minute. I can't remember. I said it earlier in the show, but it's really intense. The solar weather we're getting right now is very strong, solar wind. And like the KP index, if you've been following that at all, it's been spiking. Like a lot of us will experience the spikes of the KP index as very difficult, very unpleasant. In fact, like let me hurry and grab it. I'm going to show you because it helps us to understand what we're going through has an explanation of some kind. You know what I mean? And when we're in okay, so we just dip back down, thank goodness. So, okay, let's try to make it so you can see it. There we go. Now, if you see this graph, the green is, so we're actually right here. The green is below three or below, and the yellow is the spikes up. Once you get into the yellow, that's strong enough that it'll affect most of us. We'll notice it. And the higher up it goes, then it'll actually go into orange or red, depending on your device. And so we've been up to a KP index of 5.333 earlier. Earlier than that, we were 5.667. That these spikes are felt by us. What's interesting to note about this in particular is that, did you see the color? Typically, when we don't have anything, and we'll usually have great lengths of time where it'll be completely white. We haven't really seen any of that. It's always been at least green, and it's been that way for a very long time. In fact, here we go. Let me see. I'm going to grab this for you guys. I figured this out the other day. 10 days plot. Let's grab that one. All right, I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to share screen this real quick because it's something that's useful to have just the knowledge of, or to understand. Okay, wait, go back to where I was. There we are. Okay, now share screen. There we go. All right, check this out. So you'll see that there we go. The spike we're having right here throughout the whole strip, we're having spikes constantly or near constantly. There's a moment right in the middle, like on the 22nd, I can't see, or 28th, where it's like just a moment where there's nothing. But we typically have been having this static energy this whole time. So just bringing that up as an example so you can kind of see what's been happening, in space weather. This is all coming in and making impact. And right now, in particular, it's like the middle of the Pacific Ocean. And the way that they show it, the color of it is swelling over all of North America, all, Alaska, and even into Russia and stuff. And about halfway down through South America, about down to Peru or so, not all the way down. Anyway, we're all feeling this on some level, and so it's been pretty static for about 2 weeks, where we're constantly getting energy coming in, and you could say that it's easier or better because you don't have these big spikes of energy as much, but I don't know anymore. You know what I mean? So lots of love to you all. Times are so challenging. We've got this. We'll pull through. That's right, Vanya. We will. And we are. It feels more dense than it actually is. And that's the main message that we're getting from this. This is portal energy that we're in right now too. Remember, it's the 5-5 portal, and it's already the 5-5 portal in the southern hemisphere. Therefore, we're already experiencing it. It'll go on until the last midnight is struck, and well, technically, the last 6 a.m. is struck. If you look at it for the way time really was designed to be kept, even though, anyway, and so we're going to be having a lot of this stuff coming in. My suggestion to anyone listening, if it's possible for you to do, is to utilize the energy that you're having right now and to do meditation, some type of a ceremony, at the very least, be in a place of quiet for a moment and reflect. Um, Allow yourself to rest as much as possible. We associate resting with being lazy or something, and this is a lot of us have got this conditioning from earlier life, and it's strongly encouraged to release that conditioning so you can take care of yourself. You cannot feed from an empty cup, and so not caring for yourself and trying to care for others instead isn't going to help anybody. Trina, did you hear about all the whales singing again and the dolphins in huge numbers? Something about the ley lines. I've heard some of this, Trina. Thank you. I've heard some of this. The whales and the dolphins are also gathering in places that they've never gathered before, especially in the numbers that are coming. The ley lines. So we are having some shifting happening with the poles. It's not as pronounced or sudden as, let's say, the movie 2012 tried to tell us it would happen, right? But there is some subtle shifting, and as a result, the ley lines are also finding a different line. There's things that are shifting. Many people I've talked to, it's really cool. They don't even realize what they're doing. They just are compelled to stack a series of rocks in a specific location. This is something that they had never done before. This isn't something they typically will do. And then now are being drawn to do it. We're establishing the connection to these newly formed ley lines, at least the new location of them, which also implies that these other places that had been utilizing the ley lines may not have exactly the intensity that we've been expecting from them, which is good in some cases. It's really good. So I would be interested to hear more about that, Trina. Yes, big right toe. A lot of people are having that. It's very fascinating. Yep, big right toe. It's really interesting. Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you for that. Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Anyone have heavy urination the last week or two? Yep. Yep. That's been really funny. But frequent. That would probably be but also heavy. Yeah. It's kind of something and I've noticed that I've been able to I've a lot of the Buddha belly kind of stuff that's been like ebb and flow. It's ebbing now. And so, which is interesting because it's the first quarter, but yeah, there's, of the moon, I mean, is that this is happening a lot more lately. I've been noticing this. It's not like I need to go a lot of times, and I'm not going very much. So it's weird. And it's making the Buddha belly go away for me, or it's associated somehow. 2 nights ago, says Denise, had a 3 a.m. sudden light pain in my throat, more like down middle, lasted an hour, of course, couldn't sleep, had to do a somatic movement, and sadness came. I'm happy that you were able to release the emotion. It's difficult when we have these things. A lot of us are, yes, very much having the throat activations. In particular, right now, there's a lot to do with this area of our bodies. It goes all the way down through like the tops of your shoulders and stuff. And a lot is happening here. I've noticed it as well, very much. There's a lot of people have been talking about like sores in their mouths, feeling. What I'll have is I'll feel like I call it a headache in my gums, but it's because it's got like almost like it's just a real intense energy. When that happens, usually we're having a solar flare, but this constant influx of high solar wind over the past 2 weeks has definitely been affecting that sensation for me also. And there's other people, like I've talked to a few recently, who've had some pretty serious dental stuff going on, tongue and throat, this whole area, sinuses. It's very fascinating that so many are in the throat chakra, though it also makes sense because we have many of us, they call it the witch's wound, or there's a lot of different words for it, I'm sure, but that's the one I'm aware of, is that this is Many of us have experienced persecution in this lifetime as well, not just in previous incarnations, where speaking your truth, talking about what the energy and the things that you're aware of, and what your sensations are like, and different conspiracies that you're discussing. A lot of times people want to call them theories, even though when there's like tons of proof and stuff. Um, anyway, this a lot of times segregates and eliminates us from the fold. Ostracizations, whatever, being ostracized. I'm sure I normally would be able to say that word, but today is just not going to happen. Anyway, also, like in previous incarnations, many of us met an untimely death as a result of this. And so we got a lot to heal there. We as a collective have remained with the rare occurrence of someone who had accelerated through and passed some of the barriers, have been living in the solar plexus. And only recently, and what I mean by recently is really starting around like 2007 was when I really started to notice it for the collective. People spending a lot more time in the heart center. They'd made the leap. And so too are many just now reaching this place. No one is ahead of anyone. We're all one thing. It's like we're a big, energy moving through, though some are in the ones that are in the front and some are the ones in the back or in the middle. And as we cross certain milestones, we'll notice the rest are following suit. It's not that anyone's better or ahead of anybody. However, we've moved into the heart chakra. And now, after all of these years, 2007 was really when it started to be most noticeable. People are able to move again and spend more time now healing and resolving that in the throat chakra. Now, this isn't the first moment we've journeyed here. I'm not saying this is the first time you're having this activation. It's just that the depth that it's happening and the number of individuals simultaneously experiencing it is profound in many ways. And so we'll probably notice, collectively speaking, that there's going to be more throat stuff and also third eye stuff and also crown stuff. We also have some balancing to do in the first three chakras also. Ralph says, wow, Mila, I've been doing the humming and breathing every day, and what a difference. I'm so happy that you had the same guidance at that same time. That is really cool. I wonder how long you've been doing it. I'd be interesting to know. Because I think I wrote it right after I got the download. It doesn't seem like it's been more than maybe a week, but maybe not that long. For sure, Mila, don't know why it's taken so long for the download. I know. Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Okay, wait. Trina says, yes, nitric oxide is created when you only breathe through the nose both ways. Well, they're telling us it's very important. It's very important to like have this chemical for some. It has to do with alignment, in particular focusing on the heart center. So I find it really fascinating, and it's got healingness to it. It's like you could call it a remedy or even a potion, the way that they're making it feel to me. So it's really interesting. Thank you for that. And you always have to remember that when you enter into a higher level of consciousness, lower energies and things that are no longer in service have to be cleared out. Aho, brother. Thank you, Joshua. That's exactly right. And until they are cleared out, we'll constantly have it's kind of like, how we used to get soup cans and you put a string through it and then you'd have a telephone and it would, how that works is there's a vibration of the sound waves that leave your mouth, your body, and move through the string. And the vibration follows the string when it's taut or tight. And, then you're able to hear the message. Well, this same kind of tether is what he's talking about, that we all experience, whether we realize or we're even doing it on purpose. there's a tethering, there's this vibration that moves into you, and it's not always a vibration that feels very, very happy, so um and when it comes to shedding of relationships, we all have this in waves. There's many dark nights of the soul is what they call it. We all have different phases and stages of our development. However, we will find that we're holding on to the last straw of this relationship, of this friendship, of this partnership, whatever it is, and thinking that we're doing it at the cost of only ourselves, that it's serving them somehow. And in fact, we'll always find that both parties were not serving one another, that it was due to some believed obligation or loyalty. And so when we relieve this other individual of responsibility and obligation to us, then all parties are able to find peace and evolution. So, Mila, I heard people use the term first waver. I'm 39. In your opinion, what does that mean? I'm not a first waver. Yes, that's right. You would be considered a second waver. You would be a second waver. Yeah. Yeah. That if you go by the three waves of volunteers that is described by Dolores Cannon, the age groups are difficult to keep track of, because when she talked about it, she was referring to the ages that people were when she was speaking. And so you'll have to remember, not always is this content dated correctly. The family of Dolores Cannon are reproducing or publishing a lot of her earlier conversations where she was on the stage in her little chair and stuff like that. And so just kind of try to keep in mind, they'll usually say, though, in the description of the video, the year that it was recorded. And then you can do the math. Anyway, for the age of 39 right now, you would be considered a second waver. And then the third waivers, I believe, starts around like 31 right now. I could be mistaken, but I encourage you to go look it up and to find out. So anyway, I should probably wrap this up. This has been fun talking to all of you. I feel like I have a little child waiting for me too. And thank you all so much for being a part of this journey. This is always so amazing when we connect. I look forward to having 3 more shows this week. So tomorrow on the 5-5 portal, we will be going live with Elsa Dillon, the family from a family of 10 in Australia. She comes in with a lot of etymology and really fun code to have conversations with her. And we'll be the topic. We usually started with a topic and then we'll see how it goes. The topic has to do with ancient Egypt and ancient Greece. And likely we'll be jumping a little bit down the Tartarian rabbit hole, and ancient technology and ancient DNA. There's a lot to talk about. So that'll be tomorrow at 1 p.m. Central Time, which is 11 a.m. Pacific. And you can watch that live or on replay. And then on Wednesday, it'll be Guardian and Yolanda Marie with me. This will be a really fun conversation. I'm looking forward to that. And then on Friday, it'll be Lavender Sky Panther. So I look forward to seeing everybody there, and all of them will be available for live and also on replay. So yes, may the 4th be with you all. If you can, let yourself take extra rest. Be in some type of ceremony and meditation. If you are interested in any of the meditations that we do there, I do record them for free and post them for free in our free Telegram group. So a lot of people don't always know that that's not something that you need to pay for. I'm happy to provide it for people who can benefit. So, and please share it with whoever can benefit. There's a whole bunch of meditations in there, and there's many examples of meditations all over the internet through YouTube and so on. However, whatever it is that you can do for that time, I encourage you to take a moment for a sacred, reflection, meditation, ceremony of some type. Utilize this energy. You can either step into the shower with an umbrella, or you can step in with buckets. And I always am saying that I'll be that person that steps in with a bunch of buckets, because it's coming down as it's raining down as gifts. So why not take the opportunity that's being given to you? You don't take it from anyone by taking a bunch. Utilizing this energy and helping everyone uplift while you help yourself is hugely beneficial to the collective and the whole. I'm sending you all so much love. You got this. I know it's pretty intense right now, but it's going to get a lot better. And it is getting better, actually. It just feels wonky. And I can't wait to find out what this part's for. I'm sending you all so much love. Aho blessings.